Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the John Marzano studios here in New York City. Vinny McCucci with you. Also, Harold Reynolds and Jim Duquette. We have ourselves a blockbuster of a deal. Manny Ramirez is headed to Los Angeles out of Beantown. A trade has gone down, pending physicals and more. At this point now, Manny Ramirez would go to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Several prospects from both Los Angeles and Boston will make their way to Pittsburgh. And in this three-player deal, or three-team deal, I should say, you now have Jason Bay moving from Pittsburgh over to Boston. I'm going to begin with you here, Jim, because this is something I thought it would never get done. I didn't think the Red Sox would allow for Manny Ramirez to leave town and with that ferocious of a lineup. What in the front office goes on that allows the Red Sox to make such a deal?
Well, I think this is more than what has accumulated with Manny Ramirez over the years. I think it's more than him taking 3 strikes with Mariano Rivera at Yankee Stadium. I think it's more than him pulling himself from the lineup against the Yankees at Fenway Park. I think this is about his desire to become a free agent at the end of the year, not have the Red Sox pick up his club options, and also his criticism of John Henry and the organization and at the ownership level. When he gets to that level and the ownership kind of gets involved in a criticism, I think that's really what ultimately decided his fate.
It's a weird deal, but they obviously wanted to get rid of him because he definitely soured some people over there with Manny Ramirez, but they paid a high price to get rid of him. They're still paying his salary, and he becomes a free agent at the end of the year because the Dodgers are not picking up his options. So Manny basically gets what he wants, and I guess the Red Sox got what they wanted.
All right, well, let me expand on your point now, Jim, where Manny Ramirez, clearly we've grown to love and to know what Manny Ramirez, the person, is. And if, in fact, he did want this situation to go down so he could be a free agent and everything else, there's a lot going on outside of the baseball field for Manny Ramirez. So put him in this new location now. He's in Los Angeles. Can Manny Ramirez be happy and productive there?
Well, there's no question that Manny is going to be productive there. He got what he wanted. He wanted to be a free agent. Both club options are not being picked up by the Dodgers. He's playing for his next contract. There's no question in my mind. This is a big deal and a huge addition for the Dodgers.
I think, you hit the nail on the head with Joe Torre. 12 years in New York, managing the Yankees, never had any problems with his players. Joe is a master of handling superstar players. These guys are playing in New York City. You didn't hear things leaking out of the clubhouse. You didn't hear things happening in the streets. He is one of the great guys at communicating with the ball players, and players love to play for him. Joe's got to be ecstatic. He's watched Manny crush him for years. He knows what he's capable of. But I think Manny's going to have a core group of people around him.
It absolutely surprises me that the Red Sox would allow Manny Ramirez to leave, in essence, breaking up that 3-4 combination. I feel as if every American League East team, and maybe every team in the AL at this point, is awfully excited that Manny Ramirez is no longer on that club. But Jason Bay does come in, so I'm going to start with you, Harold. Does the Boston Red Sox as a whole, do they get better with this trade?
Jason Bay is a nice player. He's an all-star player. He's not Manny Ramirez. He's not going to change that lineup. And honestly, I think David Ortiz is a guy who's going to suffer more than anybody in this whole thing from a ball player getting pitches to hit standpoint.
There's no question. Ortiz is the one that's most affected. I think if you're a team coming in and you're any critical situation with runners in scoring position, they're going to pitch around David Ortiz and face Jason Bay and make Jason Bay beat you. He's been a 30 home run, 100 RBI guy over the past 3 years, the last 4 years. He's certainly an all-star. He is not Manny Ramirez as a threat. He signed through 2009. If this is a guy that they have for a little bit longer than 2009, maybe I understand this from the Red Sox standpoint. They're not better. There's no way that the Red Sox are better with Jason Bay. I don't like the deal.
The other thing is I think it's going to be interesting how Jason responds. He's a quiet guy, but a lot of times when you go from playing in front of 5,000 people, 10,000 people every night to a packed house, you come and get excited to play every day, and it takes your talent to another level. So I think Jason Bay is that type of player who can go to another level, but even that next level I don't think is Manny Ramirez.
Jason Bay had gone through some criticism within Pittsburgh and the newspapers as well about maybe what appeared to be lack of passion at times out on the field. So there's been talk about Jason Bay maybe leaving for some time. So for Pittsburgh's angle now, they bring in a couple of youngsters, both from Boston and from Los Angeles' organization. How did they make out, Jim?
Well, they have a third baseman that they're going to look at for the future, and Andy LaRoche is going to meet up with his brother, of course, across the diamond. They have another pitcher that they got from the Dodgers, a guy who had Tommy John surgery, but a former first-round pick, and Brian Morris, who has electric stuff. They got Craig Hansen, who's a reliever that could potentially be a closer for them down the road. And they got really what's considered in the industry a fourth outfielder in Brandon Moss. So the take for Jason Bay for the Pirates, I think, was pretty good.
Yeah, they got a lot back. And for those young guys going somewhere, it's about getting an opportunity to play. After a while, you look around and go, man, I want to play in the big leagues. So this is a great opportunity for those guys, and they'll be excited to go to Pittsburgh and play.
The trade is through as you have a 3-team deal here at this point. Again, pending physicals, you will have Manny Ramirez in a Los Angeles Dodgers uniform, Jason Bay playing for the Boston Red Sox, and 4 prospects making their way over to the
I can just
Pittsburgh
see them on Venice Beach now. They got the dreadlocks getting ready. They're selling them on the streets. Manny's in town. Manny's in town.
That's Harold Reynolds. That's Jim Duquette. I'm Vinny McCucci. This is MLB.com.